Okay, let's make a video here showing just start to finish how we get from our raw data to our comparison box plots. Here I have my raw Portland weather data that I downloaded. I went ahead and added a year, a month, and a day over here, which I will need to make the box plots using the formulas that we saw in one of those other videos. From there, make sure your cursor is somewhere in this block of data. Click on Insert and Pivot Table. You'll see the line of marching ants around the outside, and just click OK. It's selected the range for us. New worksheet, hit OK. I'm going to rename that worksheet Pivot. So now here I am going to only look at, let's say, April data. So I'll drag my month into the filters, and it'll show up here in my pivot table. So I'll go up here and I'll select the fourth month, which is April, and then I'll fill out the rest of my report. Now, I want comparison box plots where each box plot is a year, so I'll put year in the columns field, and you can see then it takes every year in my data, 2000 through 2020. In my case, though, 2020 is still in progress, so I won't use that one. So then I want precipitation. No, actually, let's do Tmax. So let's put max temperature in the values, because that's what I'd like to look at. Sum of Tmax isn't what I want. I don't want to add up the temperatures every day in 2000 in the month of April. I want to average them. So I click on that down arrow here. I go to Value Field Settings. I'll select Average and hit OK. So this was my average temperature in April in 2000, April 2001. But you can't make a box plot out of one number per year. You need the full data. So the full data means in April, there were 30 days, so I need to put day in the rows. So now this is showing April 1st, 2000, the high temperature was 73. April 18th, 2006, it was 63, and so on. So now I'll close this. And it's tough to make charts from your pivot table, so I'll just go ahead and drag to select everything up to my grand total line, but not including that. And I'll come over here to 2019. I will not select 2020 because that year is not over. So I'll press Copy, insert a new tab, and I will paste that in. So this is everything I need to make my comparison box plots. So I'll call this April Tmax Max Box Plots. Now in Excel, since each box plots data is arranged in each column, all I need to do is select all of this to make the box plots. But the year is stored as a number, so I want to make sure I don't select that. Then Excel will think that is one of the values I want to put in the box plot. So just select all the actual temperatures. So in my case, it's from this 73 down to April 30th, 2019, like that. So now when I go to Insert, and I'll click on this one, I'll select Box Plot, it'll make my comparison box plots. So then I want to click plus. I want to add a primary vertical axis. The horizontal axis, well, there's not really an axis here. It's just the box plots next to each other. And we can add a legend, and we can make this a lot bigger. And then we can change our chart title to Portland, April, Tmax 2000 to 2019. Change this axis title here to, no, not frequency, that's Tmax in degrees Fahrenheit. So now I got our box plots. You notice there's still quite a bit of space on the right and left. So if you want to, you can double click on one of your boxes itself, and you've got this thing called gap width. And so if you play around with that, you can see that lowering the gap width makes it fill the space better. If you increase the gap width way up, it makes them way tinier. So I usually set that pretty small, but not all the way. It seems to relate to how much gap there is between the axis over here. So now you're pretty much done. The only step remaining is a little bit tedious. Instead of Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, you'd like to put the actual years. So what you do is on your chart, you can right-click, you can select Data. Now here are all your series names. So instead of Series 1, click Edit, and then you can click on 2000, hit OK. You notice it changes your first box to 2000. It's a little tedious because then you go to Series 2, edit 2001, Series 3, edit 2002, and so on all the way up to the end. And Eventually you'll hit OK and all these will be filled in. It will look something like this, a little bit different in terms of the gap width, but basically it'll look like this with all of the years filled in, an axis label for vertical. Horizontal, you don't need a label down there, a nice title and a legend. That is about it. Let me know if you have more questions.